I'm 73, and I'm about to share something that might challenge your beliefs. Everything you think you know about aging is simply not true. And the frustrating part? The people who should be setting you straight, your parents, teachers, even society itself, are either misleading you or are just as clueless. For the first 50 years of my life, I bought into the same myths you probably believe right now. I was convinced I had it all figured out. I had the successful career, the perfect house, and the respect of my colleagues. But at 52, a life-altering event occurred that shattered everything I thought I knew. And in the 21 years since, my discoveries have completely transformed my perspective on life, death, and everything in between. Before I reveal what happened, I need you to understand my motivation. I'm not making this video to impress you or to appear wise. I'm doing this because my time is running short, and there are crucial things you need to hear before it's too late. This isn't for me. It's for you and your future. At 52, I experienced what the doctors euphemistically called a cardiac event. To put it bluntly, my heart tried to kill me. I was in a meeting, discussing quarterly financial projections, when suddenly, the room began to spin uncontrollably. The next thing I remember is waking up disoriented in a sterile hospital bed, hooked up to machines, with my wife weeping softly in the corner. The doctors declared I was lucky. Lucky. I had just stared death in the face, and they called it luck. But in a way, they were right. Because as I lay in that hospital bed, with nothing but my thoughts for company, I came to a terrifying realization. I had been sleepwalking through my entire life, on autopilot. I wasn't truly living. I was merely going through the motions, ticking off boxes, desperately trying to meet everyone else's expectations. And here's the thought that still haunts me today. If I had died that day, if my heart had given out permanently, what legacy would I have left behind? A beautiful house? A well-funded retirement account? A list of accomplishments that would be forgotten in a few short years? Let me tell you the biggest lie you're probably telling yourself at this very moment. I have plenty of time. I'll get to that later. When I'm older, I'll finally start living the life I truly want. I see young people in their 20s, 30s, even 40s, all echoing the same sentiments. When I earn more money, then I'll be happy. When I get that promotion, then I'll finally relax. When the kids are grown, then we'll travel the world. When I retire, then I'll finally pursue my passions. Let me save you 50 years of potential regret with one simple, hard-earned truth. That day never truly arrives. And you know why? Because the finish line keeps moving. You achieve that promotion, and suddenly you're striving for the next one. You accumulate more wealth, and suddenly you crave even more. You're constantly chasing something just beyond your grasp, and before you know it, you're 70 years old, wondering where your life went and what you truly accomplished. I lived this reality. I spent 30 years climbing a corporate ladder, only to discover when I reached the top that it was leaning against the wrong building. And unfortunately, you can't simply climb back down and start over. Time simply doesn't work that way. Here's a secret nobody tells you when you're young. Success is a terrible, ultimately unfulfilling goal. And I say this as someone who seemingly achieved everything I set out to achieve. I made partner at my prestigious firm. I purchased the dream house. I commanded the respect of my peers and colleagues. And you know what? Ultimately, none of it truly mattered. You achieve a major goal, and for about 48 hours, you experience an incredible high. Then the feeling inevitably fades. You're back to your baseline. Now you desperately need a new goal, a bigger achievement, more external validation. It's a never-ending, exhausting hamster wheel. I had a close friend who passed away 3 years ago at the age of 68. He worked relentlessly, 70-hour weeks, his entire adult life. He built a multi-million-dollar business from the ground up. He never took a real vacation. He always promised himself he'd slow down next year. Well, next year arrived, and he suffered a debilitating stroke. At his funeral, his heartbroken son delivered a poignant eulogy. My father was undoubtedly a successful man, but I barely knew him. Is that the legacy you aspire to leave behind? Your deepest regrets won't be about the mistakes you made or the deals that went wrong. They'll be about the chances you didn't take and the things you didn't do at all. I don't lie awake at night, dwelling on failed business ventures. Those simply don't matter in the grand scheme of things. You know what truly haunts me? The once-in-a-lifetime trip to Japan I never took because I was too busy. The precious relationship with my younger brother that I allowed to wither and deteriorate. The compelling book I always dreamed of writing but never even started. The invaluable time I didn't spend with my children because I was constantly working late. These are the things that eat away at you. The missed opportunities. The roads not taken. The love you didn't express. The risks you were too afraid to take. The people you cherish, your parents, your siblings, your closest friends. You mistakenly believe you have unlimited time with them. You don't. And one day, inevitably, that time will run out. My own father passed away suddenly when I was 45. We had a complex, often strained relationship, and I was perpetually too busy to truly work on it and heal the wounds. I kept foolishly thinking we'd have ample time to talk and reconnect when my schedule eased up. We never got that precious chance. A sudden, unexpected heart attack. Gone within hours. And you know what my biggest regret is to this day? All the Sundays I didn't call him. All the times I was too tired to drive over for a simple dinner. All the seemingly insignificant moments I carelessly let slip away. There won't always be more opportunities. After my heart attack, I committed to making drastic changes in my life. I significantly scaled back my work commitments. I started saying no to the endless stream of obligations that didn't truly matter. And I enthusiastically started saying yes to the things I had been putting off for decades. In these past 21 years, I've learned more about the true essence of life than I did in the previous 52. What truly matters is embarrassingly simple. Spending quality time with the people you genuinely love and cherish. Engaging in work that feels deeply meaningful and purposeful to you. Experiencing life to the fullest, not accumulating possessions. Creating lasting memories. Being fully present in each and every moment. I know it sounds almost cliché. When I was your age, I probably would have rolled my eyes dismissively. Sure, but I have bills to pay and responsibilities. And yes, you absolutely do. I'm not suggesting you impulsively quit your job. I'm urging you not to sacrifice the things that truly matter on the altar of things that ultimately don't. Here's a crucial question I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to answer it with complete honesty. If you died tomorrow, would you be genuinely satisfied with the life you've lived thus far? Not, would people be impressed by your carefully crafted eulogy? Not, did you achieve enough to impress your peers? Just, would you, deep down, be truly satisfied? If the answer is no, then what are you waiting for? What are you doing with your limited time that's so incredibly important that you're willing to gamble your one precious life on it? I'm 73 years old. I've been incredibly fortunate to have relatively good health since that terrifying heart attack. But every single morning when I wake up, I'm acutely aware that I'm living on borrowed time. We all are really. But most young people don't fully grasp this fundamental truth. They mistakenly believe they're invincible. They think they have all the time in the world. You don't. I have 3 wonderful grandchildren. And when I look at them, I see the same self-defeating patterns I see in most young people today. They're stressed, they're anxious, they're relentlessly chasing things that ultimately won't bring them lasting happiness. They're making the exact same mistakes I made decades ago. And I try to gently guide them. I try to share the hard-won wisdom I've gained over a lifetime. But you know what? They don't really listen. Not because they're bad or disrespectful, but because they simply can't. They're caught in the middle of the storm right now. They can't yet discern the underlying patterns. They mistakenly believe their situation is somehow unique, that the age-old rules don't apply to them. That's the primary reason I'm making this video. Because maybe, just maybe, if enough people hear this message, someone will genuinely listen. Someone will make different, more conscious choices. Someone will manage to avoid the soul-crushing regrets that haunt people like me in their later years. Every single day that passes, you're getting undeniably closer to the end. Nobody enjoys dwelling on this sobering reality. But the simple truth is you don't have unlimited time. Neither do the people you love most dearly. Your parents, if they're still alive and healthy, are getting older every single day. One day, likely sooner than you think, they won't be here anymore. Your friends, your spouse, your children, none of these invaluable relationships last forever. So what are you going to do with this knowledge? Keep putting off that important phone call. Keep indefinitely postponing that dream vacation? Keep telling yourself you'll magically make time later? Or are you going to wake up today and start consciously living like your time is, in fact, limited? Because it truly is. If I could travel back in time and talk to my 30-year-old self, here's the invaluable advice I would impart. Stop desperately trying to impress people who ultimately don't matter. Stop sacrificing your precious health for the sake of your demanding career. Stop indefinitely putting off joy and fulfillment until some vague someday. Stop waiting for some imaginary permission slip to finally start living the life you genuinely desire. Start calling your parents more often and expressing your appreciation. Start taking those trips you've always dreamed about without further delay. Start courageously doing the things that scare you the most. Start saying no to the draining obligations that deplete your energy. Start wholeheartedly saying yes to the enriching experiences that fulfill you on a deep level. And most importantly, start right now. Not next year. Not after this demanding project is finally completed. Not when you have more money or more free time or more of whatever you think you're lacking. Now is the only time that truly matters. Because I promise you, the mythical, perfect time will never magically arrive. Life will always be messy and complicated and full of seemingly valid reasons to postpone your dreams. But if you consistently wait for the ideal moment, you'll inevitably wake up one day and realize you've waited your entire life away. I'm 73 years old. If I'm exceptionally lucky, perhaps I have 10 or 15 more years ahead of me. Maybe 20 if I'm truly blessed. But most likely, it will be less. And I'm genuinely okay with that reality. Because these past 21 years have been the richest, most fulfilling years of my entire life. Not because I accumulated more wealth or achieved greater professional success. Because I finally started living intentionally, with purpose and awareness. Appreciating each and every day as a precious gift. Prioritizing the things that truly mattered to me. I've traveled to breathtaking places I always longed to see. I've deepened my relationships with my beloved children and grandchildren. I've enthusiastically pursued long-neglected hobbies that bring me immense joy. I've forgiven people I stubbornly held grudges against for far too long. I've said, I love you countless times to the people who matter most. I'm happier now, at 73, with significantly less time ahead of me, than I ever was at 30, when I foolishly believed I had all the time in the world. That's the ultimate irony. When you truly understand that time is finite and precious, you finally start to genuinely live. You stop carelessly wasting it on trivial pursuits. You stop endlessly postponing joy and fulfillment. You start consciously creating the right time for the things that truly matter. You have a choice, right now, today. Keep sleepwalking through life the way you've been living, relentlessly chasing external success, perpetually putting off happiness, falsely telling yourself you'll make time for the things you love later. Or wake up. Realize that time is slipping away faster than you can possibly imagine, and the life you're passively waiting to live desperately needs to start right now, in this very moment. I can't make this profound choice for you, but I can emphatically tell you, you absolutely don't want to be 73, looking back with profound regret, wishing you had made fundamentally different choices along the way. Don't waste 52 precious years figuring this out the hard way. Learn from my mistakes. Live intentionally, with purpose and awareness. Prioritize the things that truly matter to your soul. Stop waiting for some mythical someday to arrive. Someday is today. It always has been. If this message resonates with you, please share this video with someone you care about. Leave a thoughtful comment below. Tell me what specific changes you're committed to making in your life. Subscribe to my channel